Hi, welcome to this episode of Stylist Studio. Today I want to talk about another important team member and a way to keep up with what's happening in the trends in beauty, in fashion, which every stylist needs to know because we're usually guiding the team. Here's my list of the best hairstylists in the business right now. So number one, who's been number one forever and ever, is Guido. Guido Palu. He rarely goes by his last name. Usually it's just Guido. And he's at Art and Commerce. I'll put his links below. But Guido is the best stylist, hairstylist in the business because of his collaboration with the whole team on a runway show or a shoot or an advertising or anything like that. Guido is by far the most visionary hairstylist I've ever met and worked with, and who works with all the best in the business right now. He works with Mizell all the time. He works with David Sims very, very closely for the last 20 years. He's an interesting, amazing guy, and if you can get your hands, I'll put his book below that he did called Heads. I think it's like $1 bazillion collectible right now, but he's done amazing collaborations with David Sims on incredible haircuts since the 90s. And Guido is so amazing because what he brings pop culturally and reference-wise, history-wise, to the table when you're working with him as a hairstylist. And when you're looking for hairstylists to work with in the business, you want to find someone who's like Guido, who is so passionate about hair and about fashion, and who's committed to an end result as a final fashion product, and not necessarily just committed to a cool hairstyle. Because sometimes I've found hairdressers who they just want to do cool hair. They don't care about the finished product. So someone like Guido and a lot of the guys and girls listed here are more about, actually, it's all men, which is weird. Yeah, for some reason, dudes doing hair, no women. I don't know, it's weird. So this is my list of the best hairstylists, and the first on the list is Guido. So number two on my list is Paul Hanlon. And all these people I'm going to mention are the best in the world, and they're all great for different reasons, and they all bring something to the table. Paul is a little bit more of a newcomer to this list. A lot of the other people have been working in the business since the 60s and 70s or the 90s. Paul's been around, I would say, for the last 15 years. He is an incredibly cool guy out of London. He does, I think, some of the coolest hair. He works a lot with Matt and Marcus. He worked with Alistair McClellan. Check out his book below. I think he's able to create a little bit more of an urban vibe that I find very cool, but he also does more bombshelly, like creative style hairdressing as well. I'll put a link for his book here. Also, next up on my list is Julian Deese. Julian Deese is an artist. This guy is a sculptor. If you want amazing, over-the-top creative hair, Julian Deese is the guy you call. Julian Deese does Comme des Garçons. He's been doing it forever. He did John Galliano back in the day. He is basically a sculptor of hair, and I'll put his work below. He takes incredible Polaroids. He's a painter, and how he looks personally is super duper inspiring. I love Julian Deese. Next on my list is Christian. Christian is older. I think he's Danish or Swedish. He works a lot with Inez and Vanud. And the thing I love about Christian is he just has he does the most amazing haircuts. He epitomizes cool and like tomboyishness. He can also do luxury, but to me, he just can do this cool tomboy rock and roll hair that I feel like he kind of started to define in the 70s and 80s, and but also worked with the most glamorous people in fashion in the 80s, like Lisa Taylor and all those amazing supermodels. So I'll put Christian's work below. He's amazing. And then, head and head with Christian, with like kind of like OG hairdressers, is Didier Malige. Now, I met Didier years ago at the Helmut Lang show. He also did Ralph Lauren Men's. He did kind of the infamous Dior Homme advertising campaigns with Eddie Slimane and Inez and Vanud back in the day. And he just can epitomize cool. He does the most luxurious, beautiful hair I've ever seen. He's able to give it a really cool twist. And it's always, his hair and his haircuts and his concepts are always adding to the picture. It's never necessarily taking away. He's probably, to me, the closest version of Guido, but a little bit of an older school, which is fine. And also, a little side note, he is the boyfriend of Grace Coddington, and they've been together for like ever and ever. But yeah, I love Didier. He's like the chicest, most amazing French hairdresser on earth, and I'll put his work below as well. And then next on my list is Luigi, and I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to butcher it, but he's an amazing Italian hairdresser, and I think he does the most luxurious hair on earth. Luigi Morano, I think is how you say it. But he's been doing some really cool work with photographer duo Ayango and Maro. And he kills it. I mean, he's like Guido. He gets involved in the picture, but with Luigi, it's about the hair, it's about the hair, it's about the hair, and the concept. And he's able to bring really cool, amazing, luxurious concepts into pictures and into hairstyles for sure. Love Luigi. Next up is two younger guys that I want to tell you guys about so you can watch them. They're doing amazing stuff. One of them is James P. Pessis. I don't know how to say it, but James P. I love James. I met him 100 years ago. He's super cute, super cool, does amazing braids, does amazing styling. He just does kind of, he's my generation, and I feel like because we grew up in a world of such highly referenced images, he's just able to take what's cool and now and a reference and mix it with how a girl or a guy might wear it, want to wear it on the street or in the club or whatever now. So, and I think he's able to bring something to the fashion where if the fashion is too over the top, he can bring it down with the hair or bring it up with the hair. I just think James is an incredibly talented person coming up in the ranks. And the other guy on my list for that kind of status is Anthony Turner. Anthony Turner used to work for Guido. He's an English guy, super duper cute, amazing hairdresser, and can pretty much do anything, has been killing it since he started up on his own a couple years ago. So that's my list of my favorite hairdressers. Take a look at all of their work, take a look at all their links, and really just kind of start to look at what is cool in hair right now. So when you're leading your teams on your shoots, you know which way to guide them and what the current references are that these influential people are using. So that's my recommendation for this stylist studio. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Check you later.